I think the thought around the camp is that let's resolve all questions by the end, including that question.
Well, there we go. I think everyone's going to go mental on that one, that you've just said that, but there we go. On the forums and all the stuff.
The fact that it's on the thoughts, on the minds, yeah.
It'd be great if you came back as something, hopefully.
Well, we wanted to resolve that, because it is the 700-pound gorilla in the room, always. And so, and it's, with a vague end in sight, as most people have had, it's sort of been pushed off. With us being able to often put, like, if you read the scripts, we'd always put in certain clues for each movie, what happened to him. And but a lot of times that got taken out of the film. But it seems as though right now the thought is to answer that question and wrap everything up in a wonderful, nice package.
Does that mean that sort of actually, that's a good question. Is his fate, is it going to be something like, he just died of blood loss, or is there going to be some sort of, Eric Matthews type trap? Well,
I can't really, of course, I can't really say anything yet, but it'll be resolved, and I imagine it'll. We've tried to put in clues, but yeah, it'll be resolved, and it's not going to be anticlimactic. I'll guarantee that.
So it's not going to be like, oh my god.
I can't say.
Oh dear. Could never get anything out of writers, can you, Dave?
That's why because they're writing, isn't it? Yeah.
It's, because a lot of it's the exact nature of how it plays out is still undecided at this moment, but there will be the question will be answered, but it's just a matter of how exactly.
Well, I suppose a lot of the ideas, they're ever changing until the point of production as well. So even if you did, it says something now, it could change.
True, yeah. So I don't want to say something that doesn't pan out.
Well, same from what you were saying from Saw 7. A lot of the fans have been saying, are they just doing this for the money aspect of it, or are you doing it for the storytelling? What would you say to the fans who believe that?
Well, I think anytime something is very successful, in films especially, there's the automatic thought to make another. And that it goes for pretty much any movie that comes out.
Yeah, that is true.
So I think the more money something makes, the more likelihood there's going to be sequels. However, no one wants to see the Saw films or the Saw franchise beaten down into the ground and opening at $5 million and no one really caring, which is why a decision is close to being made, an announcement is probably close to being made that this is the grand finale. I think certain powers that be will always be hesitant to say that so distinctly, but that's where our marching orders are leading towards, and that's, we're not putting Saw 7 at the top of our script, we're putting Saw Endgame at the top of our script. So that's how we feel about it. Because the problem, I think people sometimes get bummed out when there's these major cliffhangers at the end of the movie, like, oh, come on, now you've answered 5 questions, but you just brought up 6 more. So I understand that, and I feel that, and as a fan on the first 3 movies, we had the same feeling sometimes. But the filmmakers on this movie and the producers and the studio, to a certain extent, they respect the franchise quite a bit, and no one wants it just to be something that becomes less than it has always been. So there is a reaction from the last movie not opening as big as it did, in that we think that perhaps if we were going to do 2 movies, let's do 1 movie that's big, bad, and that sort of wraps things up as they should on our own terms.
That kind of means that you're going to have to add a bit more runtime to the film then, really, surely?
Probably. It'll probably be a little bit longer. I don't think anyone wants to make a long, boring movie, but if we're promising to answer all questions, it will likely result in a movie that's a little bit longer. Most of them will come in around 90 minutes or so. I think the 3rd one was the longest one. I might be mistaken on that, but it'll probably have a bit larger, bulkier running time. But hopefully that'll just be because there's so much great stuff going on, and hopefully that won't affect pacing by any means. I don't think, and it'll just be a bigger event.
I'm upset now. Dave knows why I'm upset. Hopefully.
I've got tissues if you need.
No. I'm upset because I can't be on Saw 7.
So
That's the last one.
Never get the chance.
I'll never get the chance to be put in a Saw trap.
Well, we haven't filmed it yet.
Point being. I'm pretty much a fan of the series. How likely is it
At this stage.
at this stage?
Well, presently we've written the script. There's a certain aspect of it that calls for snippets of like certain traps that we haven't seen. So we see quite a few of like traps we've never seen before and people we've never seen before. So you could certainly slide into one of those roles. You'd have to do a small bit of acting though.
Yes, I like you. I like you, Patrick. Oh, lovely stuff.
And everybody knows Matt's going, oh no.
I tell you what I did do, actually. Because we had an interview with Marcus, I said, the House of Jigsaw? Yeah. I basically said, I had an interview with Marcus, I'm going to have an interview with Patrick. Would anyone like to ask any questions? Because it didn't seem a good idea to just go over the same questions I did with Marcus again, if you get the drift. And we got quite a lot of response, didn't we, Dave? Let me have a look.
I'm actually on the House of Jigsaw.
Right, okay. A user who's called Forensic has said, what was the reason for Hoffman's test? I think it's about 6, actually.
In 6?
Yeah.
Well, in 6, he was supposed to have a test, right? He was supposed to be tested in the head trap, but this wasn't as emphasized as we wanted it to be emphasized. But Jill puts the lock on and she takes the key, so there's really no way for him to get out. So she's not even testing him; she's killing him. Which, no,